Coach, first mirror opponent that you're facing for the second time. Obviously, both of you are different teams, even though it's been a few weeks apart. But just how have you seen Texas kind of evolve in these last 3 weeks?
They've been playing really well. They've played 5 games since we played them. And so I think the first thing you do when you play a mirror opponent is you study your game. You always do that immediately following the game. But then just for me, just so I can rekindle all of the things that I was thinking about, I always want to watch that first. And then the staff is ahead of me in diagnosing the 5 games that they've played. And then I kind of get the Cliff Note version of that before I start studying that. But we'll have to do a lot better job in many different categories than we did when we played them here, in my opinion. I don't think the final score was an indicator of how close the game actually was. And they did a really good job of beating us in the things that we're deficient at. And we'll have to shore up a lot of that in order to have a chance there.
Well, it's kind of a 2-part question here a little bit. But first of all, what's the secret that y'all have of being so good in the second half, and how do you respond if someone first uses a second half team? Is that a compliment?
Well, or we're just a bad first half team, you know? I think some of what's transpired in the games that you're referring to, in my opinion, is just we were embarrassingly bad. And it puts an inordinate amount of pressure on you to overcome those margins with only a half. And I think the longer this goes, I know we've played a third of the conference race, but as best we can, not to make light of your comment, evidence speaks to that. I don't know that you can count on that per game. You're just playing from behind, and so many things have to go right, not just for you offensively, but so many things have to go right in special teams and defense, offense. And so we're trying to do a better job in the first 4 minutes of the first half, and we're trying to do a better job in the last 4 minutes. It's kind of like a football game. They say in the NFL, the middle 8 minutes. And so I taught that to our guys 2 years ago, and we've kind of brought it back to life a little bit more because, to your point, it's fun if you win those games. But the litany of things that went wrong in the first half it's too much in these games that we're playing to have to overcome repeatedly. You're not going to play perfect, but we have to not statistically only improve, but a lot of the intangibles that are coming to life in the second half, we have to do a better job of them being a part of us from start to finish.
But with Manny, just what do you think the difference was with him, and also what could that do for him going forward?
Well, you know this, and you've seen Mo play at an incredibly high level, particularly last March, and you could almost feel that through the screen probably when you were watching on Wednesday. I think a little bit, not Olin's point on first half or second half, in these quad 1 games, in these quad 1A games, not everybody is going to be their best. But we need to, percentage-wise, do a better job of the 10 guys we're playing being closer to their best. Because when guys are not at their best, okay, there's 1 or 2. Yeah, but if there's 3 or 4, and that's a part of the contributions of the poor first halves, man, everything has to go right, and you need an outlier stat in the second half just for it to become a game. You're down 17 or down 18 with 17 to play at Norman. Okay, Zoo, we need a miracle. And there was some of that miracle needed by Mo in Oxford. And so Mo has that ability, not necessarily to hit the game winner over and over, But Mo has that ability to play like that in the first half. Gochi was tremendous in the second half in Oxford. Yeah, Coach, why don't you do that in the first half too? And so, again, not trying to apply undue pressure to our best players being perfect, but we're playing 10 guys. And when you are accumulating empty minutes out of 2 and 3 guys at a time in the first half, it's just a heavy burden to bear. And you're needing Zoo to make a 3 as the seconds tick off and 2 guys fall down. And you need Mo in a broken floor on a missed free throw to hit a 3 to win. Like, there are going to be those games, but one thing we've tried to study and bring awareness, and our guys are receiving things at a level that's I've never been a part of as a head coach. We can do better. And I'm not speaking to the results. I'm talking about these 2 questions. Like, yeah, it sounds good if you're a second half team. Yeah, well, let's be a whole team, whole game team.
I heard you mention that y'all changed the way that y'all do days off a little bit the last couple
Yeah.
of games. What's been a part of that change? And
Just kind of, and you, this group has heard me say this a few times, and I don't mention it to our guys all the time. The smart guys, you don't have to tell them, but we've already played 15 quad 1, quad 2 games. Well, there's only 3 teams that have played as many. And so I think there is some level of what is right when you get home from Oxford at 4 o'clock in the morning, when you're playing the last game on Wednesday night, and you're playing the first game on Saturday, and it's on the road, and then you're also playing the first game on Tuesday. And so this Wednesday, Saturday, the next week, Tuesday, Saturday, the next week, Wednesday, Saturday, in addition to what you know that we did relative to all the neutral site games, et cetera, I'm just trying to have a little bit of vision and a little bit of wisdom maybe on not just this game, not just this week, but where we're wanting to go. And so we've changed the pie chart, Travis, on some of the things that we're working on in practice because, as Carter mentioned, hey, it's a 1-possession game. It's a 2-possession game. Okay, well, we need to be really good. We need to be aware of the opponent. But then there's this other category of there were like 7 specials in the last 4 minutes of the game in Oxford. Okay, well, who's playing? Who's playing well? Does somebody have a hurt leg? Is somebody in foul trouble? Like, so to give time to that in January, you're not doing it because you think it's going to come to life tomorrow, but you want to be prepared in case it is. And then this is kind of morphed into what it's become, and the guys have been tremendous with it. If we work, which we count game days as work, we count 2 days as work, 1 day as work. If we work, we start with film. So tomorrow morning, before we work, we'll have a film session before we have shoot around. If we're here, and it's a home game, so Tuesday, whatever time shoot around is, we're going to start in the film room because I'm trying to accrue mental reps while trying to shave down some of the physical reps. And only time will tell if that's right, but we've just tried to tweak it some. It's the wear and tear physically that's easy to see. You're playing against the best players and the best coaches. But I also think it's the wear and tear emotionally. Hey, guys, quad 1A game. Ole Miss is ahead of us in all of the numbers that matter. This is huge. Oh, by the way, they run 5 out. They switch everything defensively while playing our defense to some degree. Like, how much content can they receive on the opponent while knowing us and also being prepared for all of the specials that this may occur. Like whenever the line comes out tonight, whatever it is, it's going to be 1 or 2 possessions. It's just that's what this league has become.
What were your kind of, impressions on, it's been a few weeks of that first go around at the Lone Star Showdown, and what do you anticipate, I guess, on Saturday?
Their best. Yeah, I've never played a game there as a head coach, but I haven't been to that new arena. But just from watching their games, it looks like it's arguably the best in the country. Their roster is ultra talented. They're playing with more efficiency, in my opinion, over the last 5 games. And as I mentioned, I don't think our score was a complete indicator of what the closeness of the game actually was, but I anticipate it'll be their best. They're coming off a win. Both teams are trying to go 2-0 this week, so to say.
I know you don't want to play from behind, but what do you attribute your team's just level of resiliency, it seems?
One of those people in Oxford, there were only 2. It was late. It would be foolish, Donna, for me to be a part of the answer. I think it's their parents. I honestly do. And I try to, my wife does a better job than I do. But in 2025, when you're down 18 with 17 to play, there's a lot of, hey, we'll just pack it up and we'll try it again. And there also is an elite level of selfishness that you see transpire in those 17 minutes on the way to the loss, which as the season unfolds, those 17 minutes of a loss of selfishness actually, in my opinion, caused more problems on the way to being down 17 the next time, if that makes sense. And our guys are aware. They have unbelievable resilience. I think that speaks to the character of what those parents instilled in them. But I also think that the respect and the love that they have amongst one another is why it doesn't disintegrate. And to me, that's not a stat. It is a stat that we come from behind. But it's similar. I said this a few years ago. Consecutive losing streaks, you can pick a sport, the NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball. There's one. The one turns into 2. And then you wake up 2 weeks later and it's at 5. There's some level of lesson in that. But I think the lesson of there's a loss, there's a loss, there's a loss, and now all of a sudden there's 5 wins, there's a bigger lesson in that. And I think our guys obviously have experience in those things. And so I think it's a variety of all of that. But the number one, I would give credit to their parents.
Wade's just been 1 of 11 from 3 since he's come back. Do you feel like it's just been some form of rust from the time off, or is it just he's just had 2 bad nights from 3 back to back? How do you get him going again?
Our team has had multiple bad nights from 3. 4 wasn't great, but I wouldn't, as gifted as he is and as high of IQ as he is, I think when you're young and you don't have the game experience that he has, he's going to be among the top 10 in every category of a program's history other than rebounding before this is over, including games won, including games played. I don't think it was rust. I think he's the top of the scouting report, whether he misses 10 days or not. And I think that also influences everybody else. And he's done a tremendous job of playing to that. And I anticipate that'll continue.
The times that you've been over there as an assistant, is it gonna be weird driving by and not seeing the Irwin Center drum?
Yeah, and what's the name of the place called now?
Comedy Center,
Where is it relative to the drum?
across the street, across MLK, I think it is, like, not the highway, but the street.
And so it's on campus?
Yeah, Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's same
Yeah.
general area.
Is the drum still there?
No, they demolished it
I think they're gonna-
As they built this Moody Center?
after. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty.
And did they build something where the drum is?
They're going to, they're gonna build like a hospital or something, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, see, I haven't been there. I haven't been there, so I haven't. Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, when I was an assistant coach, even prior to Texas A&M, early in my career, that was a big deal because that's where the high school championships, Final Fours were. I know it's not there anymore, and now there's Division I and Division II, but that was a big deal. Like when I worked for Coach Lair, to be able to go to the Texas high school championships, Final Four. My wife won the state championship in the drum. Her sister won the state championship in the drum. So, yeah, I guess I haven't seen campus since the drum was demolished and the Moody Center was built. And we can't get in there tonight. Lucci said he was going to get me tickets. He didn't, of course, but to WWE. That's what they're doing in there tonight. Lucci goes all over the place, filled passes, and he doesn't even need a ticket. They just give him a
They just don't.
lanyard. I thought he could help me on WWE, but he said he would and didn't. So you're familiar with him not following through.
And now he's hanging around with Texas guys all the time.
He is.
Well, that's what our people on our message boards are saying, 'cause
There's message boards on Texags. I've never looked at it. I stay away from it. Y'all have a good day.